y'all, it's me Sophie, aka Chi-Town Chica. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have an art journal video for you in my Space Plants journal, but before I tell you all about this project and get into the layout, I need to apologize for the shaky video. I didn't realize I pushed my desk back into the tripod that I use until I went to edit. But since this is my first layout in this new Space Plant journal, I had to keep it and then share it. So apologies up front. So I love plants and gardening, and I especially love to keep up on plants that are being grown in space. This is actually my second Space Plants journal. This one I made from an old botanic sticker book that I loved. I totally recommend it. But the first Space Plant journal I kept kicked off an exciting project back in late 2019, I want to say. But as 2020 progressed, that project fell through, and I've held on to the project ever since, not knowing what I was going to do with it or if I even wanted to bring it back to life again. So this past year has been huge for me in regards to old projects, reviving them, bringing them out of hiding, relaunching some of them. And this is definitely one that I'd like to get out there again. So just working creatively in this way has always been great for me when it comes to the projects and writing that I'm doing. So this is a huge part of that, and I'm going forward with another space plant journal in order to just kind of inspire me and get me moving on that other space plant project I had. So I decided that I was going to create an art journal page as my kind of reason why to start in this journal. I found out early on that plants in space are something a lot of people connect with and love. Kind of like myself. The talks and presentations I used to do about space plants were always my most popular, the most requested, and it's the same goes for the pieces I write about space plants and the space plant experiments that are going up. So they do really well on my site. So I really saw this, especially after the veggie system was introduced to the ISS. So the photos that I'm going to feature today is of a zinnia flower that was grown in that same veggie system. You actually see me share two zinnia photos here. The red one was the flower that was grown in space. The yellow one that I shared and put aside is a zinnia flower that I grew. So part of my space plant project, just, on the side that I was doing, was starting my own space garden at home. So every time a mission and crew flew, I would, find out what plant they were growing, and I would either grow the same plant or something very similar. Sometimes I can't always find the plant that they're growing or the seeds, so I just grow something fun, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, and I've done that once or twice. But yeah, I just kind of follow the mission, follow how their space plants are doing, and grow my own as I go. So ultimately, I decided to just use this photo that you see here of the kind of reddish orange flower. And I saved my personal space plant flower, which was the yellow one, for another day. You saw me already flipping through the pages of the journal, just kind of trying out different pages. I really liked both of these two that I was looking at a moment ago. They look good with each of the photos, but this red one looked great with the space plant photo. The yellow one that I just came back from looked good with my own. So I'm going to do the other photo a separate day and just kind of talk about my experience growing those plants. But yeah, doing this kind of really helped me make the decision that I was just going to create with the one photo today. So you see me bringing in a few supplies I think I'm going to use on this page initially. The number stickers there to the right, they're kind of like a pink with a polka dot. They're from a company called Illustrated Faith. They're just numbers. They're actually sold for Bible journaling, but I buy them to use for dates and launch times because it's all numbers. So like I said before, a lot of products and collections that are made with different themes or purposes, I just go ahead and reuse in the way that I need them, the way that works best for me. So I also pulled out this sticker that looks a lot like a zinnia flower, and it was actually a sticker from this sticker book. And then there's a roll of Tim Holtz collage paper. This is the entomology design. You saw me use the topography design on a previous journal layout. Anything I use that is still sold, I'll try and include links to in the description box for y'all. Oh, there goes a fire truck. Some sort of emergency outside my door. But mostly everything I buy comes from Joann's or Michael's. So you can find most of it there if it's still available. But I'll go ahead and include links when I can find them. I bring in a plain tag that you see there. And I made this actually from an old file folder instead of tossing it. It just reminds me of the ephemera you see used in collections. So I'm going to cover it with the collage paper. And I want the part that says identification in big letters, and then also along the side it says field label. In my cut aparts, I had this ruler piece from, I think it's a Vicky Bouton collection that I just really love the look of. So I start moving things around on the page, and I bring in scrap pieces of paper from my stash. I found this little piece here that said in space, and then it had other words on there, which I thought was perfect because it's those tiny little details that matter to me when you're taking a up close look. So I go ahead and start gluing things down as I go to kind of build my base, and then I'm going to move on to embellishing, bringing in like little labels and other little stickers and stamps from my collection. All these things just help me tell the story of this space plant and why it was important. So if you didn't know, Scott Kelly was a NASA astronaut, and he went on a year-long mission to the International Space Station. He launched in March of 2015 to March of 2016, and it was actually just a couple days short of a year, I think. But it was expedition 43, 44, 45, and 46. So during his mission, he grew space plants. And I say he did, but several of the astronauts worked on the space plants, the veggie experiments. I know that this particular space pillow, these space flowers, were activated by Kjell Lindgren, who flew up right after Kelly did in July of 2015. So he was part of Expedition 44. He actually activated these space pillows. So the seeds go up in these little they're encased in like these little pillows, and the astronauts activate them in the little veggie growth facility, and they keep them there under lights, and they have to care for them. So this was early on in the use of the veggie experiments, and I believe this particular plant was activated November 16th, 2015, and then Kelly shared that he saw the first petals on January 12th of 2016. And then he took this photo of the plant. He took it from the veggie facility over to the cupola, which is where the astronauts can view Earth, and as well as other parts of the station, right? So he took it over, and he took this photo on January 16th, 2016, and he shared a tweet that was wildly popular, and it said, "Yes, there are other forms of life in space." And then he included the hashtag #spaceflower. So that was an extremely popular tweet, and it just kind of cemented everyone's love for the veggie facility and growing plants in space. And that's kind of why I decided to start this journal project, as well as the other projects I was working on. And in the veggie facility, the whole reason for sending these experiments up is we're trying to learn how plants grow in microgravity. The astronauts also gain experience in autonomous gardening systems. A lot of our astronauts don't have green thumbs. A lot of them have admitted that to me in interviews, which is kind of funny. But in this particular experiment, or Kelly's experience, he shared in his book, it's called Endurance. He talked a little bit about growing this flower and working in space, and how this experiment kind of showed how it's necessary for astronauts to have a little more autonomy when it came to controlling some of the experiments they were working on. So after a little bit of back and forth with mission control and the research team, he was able to get permission to kind of grow the plants the way he saw fit and see to their care, basically watering them on a schedule as far as he was seeing in real time, like they needed watering and stuff. And it led to the production of a book called The Zinnia Care Guide for the On-Orbit Gardener, basic guidelines that put the care of plants into the hands of the astronauts. So I kind of go ahead and include that in my journaling here. You see, I've included the zinnia flower sticker and the label with the date that this tweet was set out. I've pulled out this set of stamps here that I'm going to use to create a stamp on the left side. It says favorite place, which is the cupola on station. And I've also included this sticker, and this is what when I talk again about finding stickers and embellishments that don't necessarily go with the collections. I pulled out a sticker pack from Maggie Holmes. It was her Sun and Surf collection, I think. It was called Sun and Surf. Sun and Sand, maybe. But it was basically it was a beach themed collection. That sticker there on the top though says, when you stop and look around, life is pretty amazing. I thought that was perfect for this spread. And then I pulled out a little camera as well that I put on the left there. And because these were clear stickers, at least on that pink phrase sticker, because it didn't show as well and it kind of got lost, I added it just to some white cardstock so that it would, pop a little more. But here I am creating some little stickers with these stamps. Now this stamp set, I am not sure whose stamp set it came from. It was gifted to me secondhand from a friend that no longer used it, but I love this large geotag. And then in the geotag itself, you see that opening right there where all these little additional stamps you can set in there and stamp. I use the little round circle sayings, phrases, just as is. So I've moved over to the to the right side of the page. I've added the word hashtag spaceflower to the bottom in alpha stickers. And then at the top, I've pulled a label out of my stash where I'm going to add just the date that I'm journaling. And then this stamp says, love this. So I'm going to add that right over top the stamp. And then I'm going to journal out just a little bit about this flower and why it was important to me. And I basically say, this is the image that inspired this journal, my space garden, and so much more. On November 16, 2015, Kjell Lindgren activated the Zinnia plant pillows in the Veggie facility on the International Space Station. At some point, Scott Kelly asked Mission Control for permission to water the plants as he saw necessary. They wrote the Zinnia Care Guide for the On-Orbit Gardener and let Kelly at it. On January 12, 2016, the first petals appeared, and on January 16, 2016, Kelly shared his famous hashtag Spaceflower tweet with the world. I can think of no better flower to grow in space, and Kelly's experience will no doubt change the way astronauts grow plants. And to be honest, how astronauts do a lot of their experiments. If you didn't already know, astronauts' time on space is highly regulated, planned, controlled. So that's the journaling I included, and I'm just going to wrap up the page here. I don't think I'd add anything else at this point, but I love the way this turned out. And I cannot wait to fill this journal and share all of this with you. I'm going to film a short kind of flip through of the journal. I didn't make a video of me creating the journal. I just used a lot of scrap paper that I had already in my stash. But I'll do a flip through and just kind of share a couple of the clips that I've seen, like astronaut interviews I've done talking about space plants that kind of have inspired this whole project. And then I'm going to leave you with an overview of the finished page and close-up photos of my first art journaling piece in this new space plant journal. I really hope you guys are enjoying learning a little bit more about space, space flowers, and following my process creating. And I am so appreciative of the support and feedback I've received so far on this channel. I hope you'll come back because there's so much I want to share. And definitely check out the description box below for more links to more space content that I write over on Cosmic Chicago. Thanks for watching. Bye.